Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Joe. Joe is from Birmingham in England, in the UK. So let's see what Joe has to say. Enjoy the interview. So Joey, how are you today? You been well?
Oh, I'm all right. It's not 40 degrees.
Oh my goodness, yes, can you imagine?
Oh, I have a dormer bungalow as my house, and my attic room at one point. I still have the kitchen thermometer here. It was it was 44 degrees at one point.
Oh my God, that's really hot. I think England wasn't expecting for a temperature like that.
No, not at all. We don't have any break from it. That's our problem.
Joey, so tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Birmingham, second city, no matter how hard Manchester tries.
So what's the best part of living in Birmingham?
I'd say the best part of living in Birmingham is the genuineness of the multicultural aspects. I'm a big foodie, and you can probably tell by my face, I'm a heavier guy. But no matter what I want to try and make, there's somewhere in Birmingham that not only are they going to be friendly and helpful, but it's going to have authentic stuff that I can take home. I can learn the recipes and I can cook properly.
And Birmingham is the place where you've been raised and grew up?
Yeah, born and raised.
Or your family lived there as well?
All the way back to me grandparents. Grandparents moved here when they were young. Parents, on my mother's side, Irish grandparents moved over when they were in their early 20s. And on my father's side, goes back several generations until they're slightly French. I think that's it. But yeah, Birmingham's always been where my family's been from.
I've been there once, actually, a few years ago. I went to Birmingham, as you mentioned before in the beginning of the interview, that the second biggest city in the UK, and
no, not second biggest. The second city, officially, the second city. Manchester could get bigger for all I care, but we will remain the second city.
So yeah, I've been there a few years ago, and it was cool. It was the weekend, and I just had a great time out with friends. It's been for a while now. And what do you do for a living?
Currently, 3 jobs. I work for Birmingham City Council. I work on the phones. I'm working part-time with Just Eat because everyone needs a bit of extra spending money nowadays. And I'm training up to change career to be a motorcycle instructor for people's like CBT direct access courses and stuff.
Oh, wow. So tell me a little bit about this new career that you are planning to move.
It's fantastic. It is a family business. My uncle's been running it for a long while, and he is probably the most knowledgeable bloke I've ever met when it comes to motorcycles. His way of teaching is fantastic. He does it on a racetrack as well, which is one of the fantastic things. So you turn up for a week. If you've never ridden a motorbike before, he has you cruising around at road speeds. You're not just pottering around in a car park. You're going at actual road speeds in a nice, safe environment, and it's way more enjoyable than what I'm doing now. Just teaching people this new skill and knowing that the advice and the information I'm giving across is going to help them stay safe. I mean, he's the reason that I can put my hands up and happily say I've only crashed once in my entire riding career, and that was since passing my test, and that was because it was soaking wet and I was on one of the Just Eat mopeds and it went out underneath me on a corner. But all the stuff that's serious, all the fast riding that I've done and all the around town stuff, I've been kept safe because of what he's taught. So it'd be really amazing to get in and carry on that legacy.
Amazing. Oh my God, that's very interesting. Joey, before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself.
I do struggle. I'd say that I am a fantastic cook and I have like an encyclopedic knowledge of so many little nerdy TV shows and movies. Anything that's nerdy, I've got my fingers in there. I'm having a look.
Wow.
I'd say that's probably the interesting thing about me. If it's nerdy, I've had a go, and I've got into the culture for it.
You are the best person to come along if you need any suggestion about movies, about games.
Movies, TV shows, games, books, anything you want to. You going? Oh, I want to try this out. I'd be the one to ask.
I'll remember that. Okay.
Feel free to message me. If you ask books, my answer is going to be the same every time. Terry Pratchett's Discworld. Try that first. See how it suits you.
Wow, there we go. Joey, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yeah, of course.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best. Okay, full of random questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay?
Oh, I don't do dancing.
Let's do it.
I'll give it my best, but...
There you go, my God. Then you tell that you don't know how to dance. There you go. You're just hiding your skills, yeah? Okay, Joey, before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? It's all very friendly. But before that, am I saying your name right, Joey?
Joe.
Joe. Okay, Joe. I'm glad I asked that in the beginning. Imagine if I got in the end. Joe. Okay. First question for you is tough question. Let's go. If your plane was going down, and if you could call just one person to say goodbye, who that would be and why?
I want to say my mom, but she never picks up her phone. So I'd call my dad. I know for a fact that he'd be happy that I was the person he chose to call, and I know I could trust him with any messages to pass on to anyone else. You know what to do. We communicate so quickly, me and my dad, that I know that in a 2-minute conversation, I could tell him what's happening, that I love him, and where I've hidden all the money and the bodies around my house.
Oh my God! Don't say that.
Metaphorical bodies, the skeletons in the closets.
My goodness. Saying that, Joe, I can see how close you are to your dad. What's the biggest similarity between both of you, and what's the biggest difference?
We're both, the only way I can describe it is dorks. We're not afraid to have fun and be idiots and have stupid conversations and make stupid jokes. It really is when people say, when my friends meet my dad and have met my dad in the past, they've gone, "Oh my God, I know where you get your personality from." We're so alike personality-wise. It's actually scary, and even looks-wise. I was shown a picture of him when he was about 20, stood next to the motorbike with my granddad, and we looked like the spitting image of each other, and it was genuinely terrifying for a moment. It's like I could see my whole future planned out ahead of me.
Oh wow.
I don't think I have that photo, because if I had it available on hand, I could show you, and I will have a little look whilst I'm chatting. But the other thing that you asked was dissimilar. I would say the biggest dissimilarity is that I'm more than happy to look at things in the political landscape as, for instance, the worst one at the moment. And if he watches this, he'll pull a face, I know, but he seems to think that global warming is, not an important thing, and the planet just goes through these cycles. And my stance is that could very well be true, but if it's not, what's the harm in chasing after these more renewable energy sources, and he's got that very sort of set mind on certain things, and I think that's probably the best way to sum it up. When it comes to our stances, I'm very flexible with new information and being taught new things. If someone says, actually, that's wrong and here's why, I'll take the chance to step back, have a look at it and go, shit, yeah, no, you are right. I'm wrong. I need to reevaluate my stance. Whereas my dad will just sort of shut it all down and go like, no, I know I'm right. It's fine. I know I'm right. I'd say it's his one big flaw, because outside of that, he's a very forgiving, very nurturing, very friendly man, and he has taught me a lot about the way I want to be with people and the way I want to be in life. So it's just don't talk politics with him.
Amazing. And do you have siblings as well?
Say again?
Do you have siblings as well? Or
yes, family of 6, so 4 siblings.
Wow. Well,
one sister, 2 brothers. I'm the middle child, which means I was the middle child first, and then my younger brother took over the middle child role for some reason, even though I had it longer. I don't even get to keep the middle child role.
Funny. Right, ready for another one?
Yeah,
let's do it. Okay, Joe, next question for you is, what is your favorite place in the entire world and why?
Oh, that one's very easy, because it's a singular location that moves. So I don't know if that counts as cheating, but it's not where it is on the grand scheme of things that matters. It's where I am, and it's on my bike. I'm a biker through and through. I bought one of my 2 dream bikes, the bikes that I want to own before I die, and it's a Triumph Daytona 675, and it's an amazing bike, and it's responsive, and I can jump on it, and it doesn't even matter where I'm going. It just, the whole world just like a pair of blinders on. All the problems, I don't have to worry about that. I just have to focus on going around that corner and enjoying myself.
Wow. And did you always have this passionate about bikes?
Yeah, this one I can get a picture of. Yeah, since I was a kid. Literally all the time. When I was younger, I wanted to try and pass my test before the new rules came in, and I always grew up around like a garage full of motorcycle parts, and the laws changed so that I could only get an unrestricted license when I was 24, and I ended up waiting until that point. But I don't know if this will come through clearly, but I'll tell you what, we'll turn the brightness down. This is a picture of me when I was about 5 or 6 on my father's Fireblade on the driveway, and it really is. It's another thing I've picked up from my dad and my granddad.
Wow, what a beautiful bike, by the way. What a beautiful bike, my goodness.
Yeah. He got bored of that because it went too quick. I bonded with my grandfather a lot over motorbikes as well. One of the motorbikes that I have access to now is his bike, and it's the only time my grandfather. It's a good story, don't worry. It's the only time my grandfather ever hit me was because of motorbikes. So towards the end of his life, when he was feeling a bit weaker and not as strong in himself, I asked him, how come you don't go riding anymore? And he said, oh, I'm all right when I'm rolling, but getting it out the garage and stopping at red lights, it's just too heavy for me. I said, well, why don't you get a nice little 125 or a scooter? And then he hit me because it was the biggest insult to him I could give.
I think you deserve, Joe. I think you deserve.
Yeah, no, that one was warranted.
You asked for it for sure. My God. Oh dear. Next one. Let's do it. Okay, Joe from Birmingham. Next question for you is: share with us a crazy story that happened to you when you were a child at school.
Child at school. This one will make my mother laugh because I'm going to send her a link to this. So I was always the naughty kid in school. Actually, what school level do you want? Do you want like primary school, secondary school.
What's the best? What's the first memory that came to your mind when I asked the question?
The first memory was probably the unjust persecution in year 3. Now, in year 3, like the year 3 classroom was in like a tiny little hut building of its own. It was a real building, but it was just set away from the others and had its own bathrooms and everything. And I was always the naughty kid. Whenever something went wrong, it was always, oh, did Joe do that? And in year 3, there was a huge kick-off during lunchtime because somebody had flushed a banana down the toilet and blocked the toilet. And I was blamed, and my mother swears to this day that I was sobbing my eyes out, defending myself, that it wasn't me. And it wasn't. And the teacher did come to my aid in the end and say, I know it's not Joe, because Joe always eats his bananas. He's like a monkey. But I vividly remember pulling the most horrible face when I was picked up that evening, because something had gone wrong and everyone had gone, you did it, Joe did it. And it's one of the weird memories that always come back, because on the surface of it, it's a funny story. A bunch of kids just blamed the naughty kid, but I couldn't for the life of me not be in a mood about it when I got out of school. And it was just foul face for the entire evening. I always liked that teacher after that.
Oh, saying that, Joe, did you like school?
Yeah. What I didn't like about school is what I still don't like about academia, and it's that it's the same problems everywhere. It's teachers are underpaid, schools are underfunded, class sizes are too big. So you can have people like me who I got put in like set 4 maths, which, you know, in a grammar school, it's still a good class, but it was the lowest class. I walked out with a B in maths. I wasn't stupid, but I responded better in that smaller class size, being able to be a bit of an idiot, and the teacher go, yeah, it's just Joe doing his thing. He's not annoying anyone else, don't worry. And I think that's the key part that's missing. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but I think smaller class sizes, letting teachers be able to get to know their students and cater to the individuals is what we need in school. So did I enjoy it? I enjoyed not having a job, but I think it could have been a lot better.
No, I understand your point. Totally agree. I think when the class there is small with less students, I think the teachers, they can focus more on the students, and you know what I mean? Because when too many people, the students, they can't, you know what I mean, give the you know what I mean, the proper attention to everyone. They
build a repertoire, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
They get to know the students. They get to find a flow in the classroom.
Absolutely.
When it's up 30, 40 kids, it's just one person shouting at everyone and just telling you this is what you do. There's no help. There's no guidance. It's just instruction, and that's where it gets a bit messy for me.
Absolutely. Next question. Let's do it. Look you performing. Wow.
I got to get into it.
Amazing. Joe, before the next question, tell me what do you like the most about your current job and what's the most challenging part of it, in your opinion?
What I like about my current job, I have to give a shout out to my manager. She is the most supportive, genuine manager I've ever had. She will, you know, she'll jump over fences for you. She'll jump through hoops for you. And when it comes back to you, she'll just turn around and say, look, this is what the problem is. Sort it out. Otherwise, we're gonna have to do something to get it sorted. Because I'm getting shouted at, and now I have to shout at you because of it. She's just so straightforward. But my favorite thing about her is she still brags about people who were on her team who've got management roles now. I was talking to her the other day and she was going on about one of the managers, like, yeah, he started in my team, he started in my team, and now he's a manager. And it's just really nice to see someone who's actually proud of the people that were part of their team.
Wow. What's her name?
Her name's Janice. Janice, if you find it.
Janice is going to be smiling right now at the moment. My God, I'm sure your smile is big like that. Look how proud he is.
She's genuinely one of them. Because I mean, I work from home full time, and whilst that's lovely, I'm still working. And much like I'm sure yourself and a lot of other people out there, I'd much rather never have to worry about money ever again. We all want that lottery win. The problem is I don't buy any tickets. But she's very straightforward. I went to her with a problem today, saying that I didn't have enough annual leave to keep training for this new career up until the exam. And I said, could I get it on unpaid annual leave? And she went, yeah, sure, we can sort that out. Send me an email. I'll get it sent over.
Wow.
And it was just dead straightforward. It was dead simple, dead helpful. She's honestly one of the biggest silver lining to that job.
Wow. So nice to hear that. And the challenging part, what that would be, if there is any?
I'd say it's the fact that the way my job is structured, I can't give anyone definite answers about a good majority of my job.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of back office teams who don't have phone lines. They don't have any way to contact them via email. And there's no guarantee they'll respond by email. So I get people calling up day after day, week after week, asking questions that I can't answer. And then unfortunately, because it is an upsetting, difficult situation they're calling about, they start getting very upset and aggressive often towards us. And it does make it quite stressful towards, especially towards the middle of the week. No horizon in sight, and you've got someone shouting at you about something that you wish you could help with, but you physically can do no more than you have. So I'd say that's the most stressful part.
Right. Next question is, what was your worst wardrobe mistake?
I mean, I went through an emo phase. Do I have to say anything more than that? I still think back fondly on it, but the fringe and the V-neck tops and the sweatbands is a combination. It wasn't great. I say that as a full-grown man who wears Hawaiian shirts 90% of the time. That's a better move fashion-wise than a lot of the decisions I made during the emo phase was.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Joe from England. Next question is, what season of the year you feel more connected with and why?
Autumn. And I'm going to come back to one of my earlier answers. But of course, you've got the lovely colours, the hot drinks, the cool breeze, and all of that. But it's motorbike season. It's still dry, but it's cold enough that the engine feels alive. And you and your mates jump on your bikes, ride off somewhere, have a bacon sandwich, talk nonsense for half an hour, and then ride home. And what could be better? So yeah, autumn, 100%.
I'll tell you something now. It's my favorite season of the year as well, for sure. Like hands down, my goodness, I literally love it. It's so European, you know what I mean? I just love the colors. Yeah. It's crispy. It's not, as you said, it's not very cold yet.
Yeah, you chuck a t-shirt and a hoodie on, and you're set.
You still, you know what I mean? It's not like very cold or very hot. It's just kind of middle. It's just there is something about the autumn that it's special. Is your birthday around autumn as well or not?
No, my birthday's in a week. 28th of July.
No, I'm asking that because somebody told me a long time ago that you feel very connected with the season you're born. And for me, it works perfectly because I was born in November. So it's just perfect.
I'm built for Arctic climates. Like I said earlier, I'm a big guy. Give me cold where I can wrap up any day. Although in summer, I'm just trying to tear my own skin off, get as many fans into one room as I can.
Oh, dear. Next question. All right. Next question is, what is your worst embarrassing moment?
Probably getting drunk way too young and throwing up all over myself and being rescued by my father, who put me in the showers on the campsite we were on. And
Ooh.
whilst I was saying to him, please don't tell mom in a very drunken way, he's trying very hard not to, laugh a lot, because my mother stood directly behind him at the time. I was that drunk. It's put me off vodka for life. I still can't drink vodka.
Oh my God. It was a big night for sure.
Yeah. Don't go that hard on the first night.
Oh dear. Next question. Joe, before the next question, let's say people watching the interview would like to come to Birmingham for the very first time. What would be your piece of advice for people to visit, to people to explore a little bit around the city?
I'd say visit some of the grounds of Birmingham University. Some of them are actually wonderfully beautiful. The Black Country Living Museum is a wonderful representation of Victorian living. Sutton Park is a fantastic example of inner city beauty. It's actually Europe's largest fully enclosed urban park.
Wow.
Yeah, it was gifted to us by Henry VIII. It was part of his extensive length of hunting areas. And I'd say do more than just see the city centre, because in and around Birmingham we have some fantastic areas, and we do have fantastic nights out, and great places to eat. But do look for things like Sutton Park, and do go and see what's around the city as opposed to just in the middle.
Amazing. Next question for you is, what was your best friend's names growing up, and why did you consider this person your best friend at the time?
I'd say my best friend when I was younger was a guy named Dan. He used to live in Moseley. We drifted apart when we went to uni, and we didn't stay in touch, which is upsetting, I know, but that is part of life. He's doing wonderfully now. He seems very happy, so I'm glad about that. But he was the one I used to go to whenever I just wanted to not have to worry, and I just wanted to chill and relax, or just be idiots for a bit. And I'd go and hang out with him and a few other lads, and we'd get drunk at his house and pass out there, and it was a fantastic time and part of my life. And if he does end up seeing this, I hope he's doing healthy, and I hope he's doing well. But he could answer any of my Instagram messages.
There you go, Dan. I hope you are watching the interview right now so you can see the message, okay? Next one, let's do it. All right, next question is, what would your theme song be if you had your own show?
Theme song. That's a difficult one. I don't know, because my music taste is kind of, I like to say eccentric. It's just ADHD. It's all over the place. It'll go from classical to rap to rock to metal it bounces backwards and forwards. Only in my car can you listen to Venga Boys, then Slipknot, and then Eminem.
I like Venga Boys. Actually, I remember my teenager, when I was a teenager, when I was listening to Venga Boys before I came to Europe. I remember.
Venga Boys is a bop. It always was, and it always will be. I genuinely couldn't answer. I couldn't narrow it down enough. I've got about 500 songs going through my head right now. Maybe Entrance of the Gladiators, which sounds pretentious, but it's the music that they play when the clowns entered. Yeah. I never take myself too seriously, so might as well enjoy yourself and join in and have a laugh whilst I'm here.
Amazing. I like the option. Good one. Next question. All right, next question is, who would you swap lives with for a day if you could?
Jeff Bezos. And there's a good reason for this. I'd want to get as much of his money as I can and put it towards like really good causes, really helpful causes, and see, a boom of renewable energy in Africa and massive food programs. Maybe put a bunch of money towards desalination as a research goal to help people who are in, coastal areas who have water issues. I think that'd be it. I'd just see how much of his pockets I could empty onto people who need the money more than him.
Oh, that's a nice one, Joe. That's a very nice one.
The best thing is, 24 hours, he's the world's richest man. I couldn't do that much damage, could I?
No.
He'd still be set for life afterwards.
For sure. It would be nothing for him. It would be like, okay, you can use my money for 24 hours. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's where I'd go with it. Just try and get some people sorted.
Oh, nice one. Ready for another question?
Of course.
Let's do it. Next one. Right. Before the next one, as you mentioned at the beginning of the interview that you like cooking, yeah?
I love cooking.
So tell me, what's your best dish that you go like, okay, this is my best dish that I can cook, and what's your favorite dish like eating that you like eating?
I'd say my best dish. Sorry, I've got a guest of my own at the moment, causing trouble.
Who is that?
It's my guest.
Oh my God, who is that? Introduce it to me.
This is Fru. She's got 2 brain cells. They're both fighting for 3rd place. And she only comes to bother me upstairs this much when she's hungry.
Oh.
Favorite food to cook. My favorite food to cook is kind of a cliched response, but one of the reasons I like food so much is because I like sharing it with people, and I like seeing people enjoy something. And I make a mean chili. And I know it's not going to be authentic. I know it's going to be like a British chili, and it's going to have kidney beans, and it's going to use ground beef, and but I still make it taste fantastic. And the best thing about it is you can make a huge tub full, invite a bunch of people around, and just ladle chili into bowls and say, fill yourself up, fill your stomach, and it fills bellies, it gives smiles. It's just fantastic. So big pot of chili, that's my favorite recipe to cook, purely because I can share it with other people.
My God, I would like to be the one invited for that meal.
If you're ever in Birmingham, drop me a message. It may not be chili, but I'll cook you something up. My favorite meal, though, if I had to have a choice, I don't know why I love it so much, but my mother's cheat carbonara recipe. And carbonara is fantastic. It's egg yolks, guanciale, and it's amazing cheese. But the way my mother did it blew my mind when I saw it for the first time. It's just chop up your bacon, chop up a bunch of mushrooms, fry them off together, keep all the juice in the pan, add creme fraiche, bunch of black pepper, some garlic, and a bit of parmesan if you like, and then just toss your noodles in that sauce, and it's like 5-10 minutes of cooking, and it's a full plate, and it is delicious, and it's so simple that I can just eat it again and again.
I'll tell you something now, another coincidence. Carbonara is one of my favorite pasta. If my favorite one. Oh my goodness. And I used to work in a restaurant, and in an Italian restaurant, and through that we could always order a food for ourselves in the end of the shift. And I always ask for carbonara. And the head chef was like, William, we have so many different kind of pastas here. Why don't you try something different? Why don't you go for a traditional Italian, another traditional? I go like, oh my God, no, but I just love carbonara. I just like, it's just nicely.
So decadent.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, like I said, carbonara is fantastic. And it is this silky, delicious pasta, but My problem is sometimes I just want to go 10 minutes. What can I make? It's there. It's comforting. It's what I had as a kid. It's lovely. I think that's what it is. There'll always be one meal you had as a kid, and it'll just take up that little spot in your heart. And even though it might not even be that good of a meal, but it'll still turn you back into a little kid.
Absolutely. Next question is, what would be the title of your memoir?
Well, it wouldn't be anything stuffy. It wouldn't be anything boring. I'd say that. It's not going to be, a memoir by Joseph Allwood. It'll probably be titled something like Along with the Current. Because to this day, I've found myself where I am in life by just sort of going with the flow, enjoying the ride, and just worrying about dodging rocks and not where the river's going, if that makes sense.
It does. For sure it does. I love the title. It's just like, go with the flow, live life the way it comes.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of moments in my life which are, I know now, looking back, defining moments and keystone moments, but at the time, my thought process always seemed to be, what's the worst that can happen?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's worked out well so far.
Very good. Right, I have 3 questions left for you. Let's do it. Joe, before the next question, as you're saying about the business that your uncle runs about motorcycle, yeah?
Yep.
Bikes. People watch the interview. Would you like to join, his classes or the business? What would be your best piece of advice? What he offers different that the others around, the place cannot offer?
Well, I mean, the first thing is there's a racetrack. You learn on a racetrack. Even if you make the mistakes that people make on the first day, you're gonna be safe. You've got this wonderful place to learn, or this wonderful place to get started. What I'd say that he offers that other places don't is he teaches things other places don't. Like first day, he usually gets people who have, even though they may have little or no experience on a bike, he's usually taught them enough up to that point that he has them doing emergency brakes at 70 mile an hour. This is their first day on a motorbike, and they're tearing down the track and pulling on the brakes and slamming on the anchors. And when you do that, he goes, all right, now we're going to do it on a corner. You don't have to teach them how to do it. You do not legally have to teach them how to do that in order to pass their test. But my uncle will stand there and say to you, this is not on the test, but this is a life-saving exercise. And I think that's what really highlights his version over everywhere else's. He's more worried about not whether you pass or not, but about if you pass, is he gonna see you out on the road in 5 or 10 years on the bike? Are you gonna go, I know him, he taught me to ride, and say hello? Because that's what he wants. He wants people who not only join this like culture, but he wants people to survive. He wants them to be safe. And a lot of places don't focus on that.
There we go. Thanks so much for sharing. Next question for you is, this one is going to be very easy, but I'm going to ask you. Right. Are you a cat or a dog person? If you could be an animal, which one that would be and why?
I see why you think you've got me trapped there, because I've got cats. I'm a dog.
No way.
I'm a dog. 100%. Look at me. I'm excited about everything. That's what dogs do. Everything a dog does is their favorite thing in the world. It's like, food time is my favorite thing. Walk keys, that's my favorite thing. Cats just lounge around going, yeah, I know. We'll do it later. I want to be excited about things. I want to have that unconditional love for someone and be a big bundle of energy that just puts a smile on people's faces. That's what I love being a dog. I'd love to be like a dog. And I'd say I am more of a dog person than I am a cat person, but I've got a very small house, and cats fit small houses better than dogs do. If I could be any animal, does it have to be living?
No.
No? Okay. See, now you've opened up dinosaurs. That's the problem.
I knew you would say that. For some reason, I knew you would go there.
Dinosaurs, and this is a scientific fact. Dinosaurs are cool. That's a genuine scientific fact, can't be refuted. I think there's one called a Pachycephalosaurus, which has a big domed head, and it solved all of its problems with headbutting. And it's just such an elegant way of solving problems. No, but for real, that I would want to be a Quetzalcoatlus, it was called, and it was this. It was a winged reptile that, you know, when it was walking around on its wings and its legs, it was as tall as a giraffe, absolutely huge. And these things were theorized to be just gliders. So what they'd do is they'd just get up nice and high, and then just stick their wings out and just cruise. And the idea of just cruising through the skies, relaxed, is probably a daydream a lot of people have.
That's for sure.
Definitely.
2 questions left for you. Let's do it, Joe. Oh wow! Look at that.
I gotta throw something in at the end.
Before you always had this very calming voice, like comforting voice. The way you talk, the way you express yourself, it's always been like that.
No.
In a very joke, sarcastic, you know what I mean, the jokes you make, you know what I mean, it's fun. It's funny to see because you've got this very calm voice, you know, and at the same time as well, you let go some jokes through the way, you know what I mean?
Well, I think it's my outlook on life. You know, no one gets out alive, so might as well make the most of it. Might as well have some fun. And you know, if the thing is, my family, we deal with humor we use humor as a coping mechanism, and so even on like our worst days, we'll be there like tears in our eyes, and one of us will crack a joke, and one will be there pissing ourselves laughing. It was at my granddad's funeral, for instance. You know, someone got up to say something, and we were all stood in the pew at the crematorium, and we sat down. And as we sat down, you take up a bit more space than when you do standing, or at least my family does. But it sort of shuffled me out right onto the edge of the pew. So I had like one butt cheek in the pew, and one of it was just outside, and I was holding on to the one in front for dear life. And you know, it's my granddad's funeral, and my family, whose grandfather, and my dad, whose dad it is, are all sat there, and they're all glancing down at me, seeing what's happening, and just breaking out in like, you know, inappropriate laughter fits. And the whole family's just there going,
"Oh my god!"
And we're getting dirty looks from other people in the church. Well, hang on, he's our granddad. Calm down. Yeah, no, I haven't always been this way. I was really annoying and a bit of a disappointing character when I was a teenager. I didn't always make the best decisions, and I didn't always treat people with the kindness and the respect that they deserved. And when I was at uni, before I went to uni, I sort of realised that that's not who I wanted to be, and not the way that I wanted to conduct myself. So there was a big change around uni, and yeah, I like being comfortable presence. I think it's a good way to be, and I think more people should be that way.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree. I think it's the right way of approaching life. You know what I mean? That's the best way. Right. Next question for you is, what is the worst first date have you ever been on?
This one is extreme, and I know not as many people would be able to say this. It was when I was a teenager. She just dropped the N-word on the first date. Yeah, beat that. There was no second date, but genuinely, it was just a nice black gentleman. He was as small as he bumped into her, and she turned to me and said, "It's always these." Expected me to be like, "Oh yeah, I understand. I'm with you 100%," and I was like, "I'm gonna go. I've got to shave my carpet. Sorry, we'll do this another time." But that's probably hands down the worst first date I've ever had.
Oh my God.
But I mean, it's nice because bullet dodged. And not often do people say, "Hey, look, here's my red flag on the first date." So I'll take it as a win for me. Success.
Sure. I love that.
Finding that out 4 months in, madly in love with someone, and they're just, oh, by the way, I'm massively racist.
Oh my goodness. Right, let's leave in there.
I won't name and shame. I'm hoping wherever she is, she's matured a lot as a person.
For sure. Hope so. Ready for the last one?
Last one.
Last question, Joe. Let's do it. I wish I could. We have here in the house a cat as well, called Tiger. He's literally just here on the floor. Look at me. Come on, come here, come.
That's only one of my cats. The other one will be hiding somewhere.
Look, I think he's gonna jump now. I'm gonna try to get him. I'm just. I got it. Come here. Say hello to Joe. Come. Say hello to Joe. Come say hello.
Oh, look at Tiger.
Come say hello, Tiger. Come say hello.
Dolly, Doll's there. We might find you girls a date. No, they're not interested. No. Sorry, I tried my best.
Oh, Tiger's waiting. Look, he's waiting for her to say hello now.
Let's see if we can get Dolly in. Dolly is a much bigger baby than Fru.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look at that Tiger.
You'll sit there for hours. Dolly. Here's your mate.
Look. Tiger. He cannot see. Oh, he can see, I think. No, he cannot see. Good try.
Yeah, you've met both cats now. You going to stay here or you want to go back to bed? Staying here for a bit.
All right, so before the last question, Joe, let's say this weekend I'll be off. I'm not working this weekend and I've got the time free in my hands. And as you said at the beginning, that you are a proper nerd. Okay, I would like to suggest me this weekend a good book to read on Saturday afternoon that I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna read that book. Also, let's say that in the evening, I'm gonna feel a bit bored and I'd like to play a game. I would like to suggest a game to me as well. And late at night, I cannot sleep and I would like to watch a movie before I fall asleep.
Okay,
So now you've got 3 things to suggest me for this Saturday. What that would be?
Well, I warned you earlier. It's going to be Terry Pratchett. So
you did, yeah.
Genuinely, the way he's written them, you could just look at any of the Discworld books. You could just close your eyes, tap a name of one of the books, and read that. They are all fantastic, and the only way to really explain how wonderful they are is to just try and convince people. It's these absolutely fantastic, it's this amazing imagery and this amazingly built world and these fantastic rules for things, and then you get all of that gets absolutely swept under the rug by how amazing he is at writing people. And you think you're reading a fantasy book, but turns out, you'll be halfway through the book and you're thinking, hang on, I'm learning a life rule here.
Wow.
Terry Pratchett will be sorely missed, but I'm so glad that he's left these genuine works of art behind.
Amazing.
Any one of the Discworld books. Games. I don't know, do you play video games?
I don't actually, but I would like to suggest something that would be easier for me to get into it and easy to play.
Okay, have you got a partner?
No, I'm single right now.
Single. Oh, that was a good game I was going to suggest.
But I can call like a friend or someone who can.
If you've got a close friend who would play, I would say It Takes Two.
Right.
it's basically a bunch of mini games, but uh, uh, but built around a central story, and it's specifically multiplayer. It is by EA, so I do apologize for recommending an EA game.
I don't understand anyway, so for me would be like
anyone who's a gamer watching this will understand. It is an EA game, so I apologize for that. But the way the game is built and the way it feels when you're going through it is absolutely phenomenal. It really does. It draws you in, and I think that's the mark of a good game. Anything where you sit down and you play it and you go, yeah, we'll play 20 minutes, half an hour of this, and you look at your clock and it's 4 hours later. That's to me a good game, because it draws you in and you're having fun and you don't want to stop. So
right.
That's my game I'd suggest.
And now I feel like going to sleep, but before that I'd like to watch a movie before getting my
you gotta narrow it down. You gotta give me a genre. What genre are you feeling?
I just feel like I feel a bit tired, but same time as well, I would like to watch something that's gonna get my attention. I'm gonna kind of reflect on it, but it's gonna give some laugh along the way as well.
Okay, so I'm gonna suggest family friendly with a strong core message, and although it doesn't have that much of a backstory, it has wonderfully built characters. It's a new film, The Sea Beasts, or Sea Beast on Netflix. It's got really, really charming animation. It kind of has a How to Train Your Dragon vibe mixed with like Moana. It's got a fantastic sort of moral sort of story at the bottom of it, which is basically don't trust your government, which we like that. Government should always be transparent and held fully accountable for their actions. And it has one of these lovely sort of that weird trope that we seem to see a lot of today, the found family, but the big gruff dad who doesn't really want to be part of the found family, but secretly really loves it. It's a really good, really bright, colourful, fun, and interesting film to watch. I stuck it on as background noise, like you said you would, and I ended up getting sucked into it completely. So that'd be my film recommendation.
Amazing. Okay, my Saturday it's all filled up now with good entertainment.
Fantastic. And hey, worst case scenario, just watch Whose Line Is It Anyway, because that never gets old.
Last question for you is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
The Iron Giant. There's like two ways about it. I am not ashamed to admit I am a very emotional man, and I do not bury my emotions very deep. There is a long list of things in films and TV shows that I've cried at. I mean, The Iron Giant, Forrest Gump. I don't know if you know anime at all, but One Piece. It's about pirates, and at one point they have to get a new boat, and they have like a funeral for the old boat, and they set him on fire, and the boat's voice appears, and I was sobbing.
Wow.
Because the boat's like, I just wanted to carry you one more mile, and I'm there like, 7 miles. I'd say I'm weirdly more of a happy crier than I am a sad crier. If something tugs at my heartstrings in just the right way, it'll set me off. Absolutely no way to stop it.
Wow.
And as for what makes me happy, I'd say sharing. Whether it be time, money, energy, knowledge, food. I can't think of anything other than an illness that is bad to share. As long as you've got someone there who wants to share it with you, it's probably the best source of joy in the world.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words and you just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Family.
Dogs.
Money.
Worthless.
One word for love.
Aloneness. There is an explanation to that. Love for me is the person that you're comfortable to be who you are when you're alone, but with them.
Oh, wow.
So all the little weird things you do, all the little stuff you hide away from people, because we all have them, no matter how small. Whenever alone for you includes that other person, that's love to me.
Oh, that's very sweet. One word for life.
Death.
One word for sex.
Sweaty.
Oh. Politics.
Messy.
Religion.
Silver linings.
Fear.
Fun. I don't know why. That's the word that comes to mind. Fun.
Friendship.
Underappreciated.
Desire.
Overrated.
Regret.
Understated.
Success.
My brain's shut down. Depends.
Okay. Wish.
Stars.
Happiness.
Simplicity.
One word for Birmingham.
Surprising.
One word for England.
Unrefined.
I like this word. One
What
word
I'm
for...
saying is, it's like a diamond in the rough. There's so much more that England could be, and I think it's time, as a country and a culture, that we start trying to push England towards it.
And the last one now. Bikes, motorcycles, one word.
Freedom.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely dad for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, tell me the most beautiful thing about Joe, and tell me something that he still needs to work on, to improve on. What your lovely dad would say.
I like to think that he'd say that I am kind. I think that's what I would be happy to hear him say. That I'm kind, that I am generous, that I am an idiot, but I'm willing to admit that I'm an idiot and admit when I've been an idiot. I'm fairly sure he's proud of where I've got so far.
Very good. Let's play now. Joe in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. Right, you can ask me a question now, Joe.
I did think about this, and then, in true fashion of my my life, I completely forgot about it. So I'm going to go with the flow. If you could ban one thing, anything in the world, it doesn't have to be a physical object. It could be, something as small as, not saying thank you when you buy something in shops. If you could ban one thing, what would it be?
It needs to be material, or could be anything.
Anything. Like I said, it could be, you could ban tires because they're terrible for the environment, or you could ban people not saying thank you when they pick up their coffee at Starbucks.
Okay, the first thing that came to my mind when you said that, it can sound cliche, but if I could burn hate, you know what I mean? I think, I know it's cliche, but I think, you know, people, I think kindness is such a easy, simple way of, you know what I mean, sharing
Yeah.
with another people, with ourselves as well. I think be kind to ourselves is something very, very important as well. But I think when I say hate, for me, it's such a strong word.
Would
And
you say a lot, when you say that, you mean what comes to mind for you is a lot of the hate that is unfounded? A lot of hatred that's based on rumours and ideas as opposed to solid life?
When I think about hate, it's about let's say misunderstand things or not understand things that maybe you're not comfortable with, or maybe for you it's not very clear or is different for you, and instead of you go like, okay, it's something that is not part of my culture or the way I've been raised or the way I've been taught, you know what I mean? But I respect. I will live, you know what I mean? I'll look at it. It's different. It's strange. It doesn't fit my surrounding, people around me. But I will approach that or reflect that with respect instead of hate, or instead of, you know what I mean? Then try to push away, maybe because I feel a bit uncomfortable about that, you know what I mean? But that's what I mean. Something that feeling that maybe, you know,
not just hatred, but especially people putting their hatred onto others.
That's yes, exactly what I mean. Exactly what I mean. It's just the behavior. It's just the behavior, the action. You know what I mean? It's
I
just
get it 100%.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's just about the action itself. You know what I mean? Should literally be a different way of approaching. And as I said, if you don't understand, if you don't agree, if you don't, you know what I mean, just respect, or at least, you know what I mean, be like sensitive about, or try to, you know, to avoid. At least we can avoid that, you know what I mean?
The other thing is, on the other side of things, for hatred, if somebody makes a mistake, actually, no, I'm going to save that because that's part of my quote. Because you said come up with a quote, and I will come back to this. But if someone makes a mistake, don't hate them for it.
No.
Don't jump at them. Help them understand.
Yeah.
And my quote is very specific, but I will. But that's where it starts.
I'll get your quote, and that's what I say, Joe. It's like, you know, I think the world would be a better place if we would at least, you know, I think that what I believe is, Joe, some, you know, even ourselves, you and me, we have things, situations in life that sometimes we don't understand, you know what I mean? It's different for us, but we're okay with that. We try to understand, but I think the worst is when you go like, okay, I don't want to understand, I don't want to see it, I don't want to educate myself, I just want to live it the way it is, and fight back with a, you know what I mean, a negative way.
I think my cat's just thrown up under my bed. That's why I was looking around. You know.
I was like, he's not more connected with me. He doesn't care about the interview anymore. He just want to hang up now.
I'm just making sure my cat hasn't thrown up under my bed.
It's okay?
I'll be fine. If she's thrown up, she's thrown up. Me talking to you isn't going to make it disappear or get any worse, is it?
Right, Joe. Did you enjoy the interview? Did you enjoy the experience?
I did. This was good fun. Yeah.
Thanks so much for being kind and sweet and patient as well, for, you know, for making up today. I really appreciate your time as well. Thank you so much. It's meant to be today. I really, I must say, before we finish, I must say that I really like the way you approach life. Also, I really like, as I mentioned before, you have this calm voice that's really comforting. It's really the way you express yourself towards, you know, people. And I just met you now, and I literally felt so like calm and comfortable talking to you, because you have this way of talking, the way of express yourself, and I think not everyone is like that. And I think that is a really nice way of, you know, with these little jokes through the way. I think it's very entertaining, and I love it. It's a nice way to connect with people, for sure. People feel comfortable, you know, being around you, for sure. But before you go, if you can share a positive message, something that you live by.
Well, what I live by is actually a very known quote called Hanlon's razor. And it says, never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. And I know it sounds harsh, but if you break it down a bit more into modern language, you think, is that person doing that to be a dick, or did they have a brain fart? Like the way I think of when I think of it most funnily enough is driving. Did that person cut me off because they're going, I don't care about you, I'm going in front? Or did they just not check their blind spot, didn't notice I was there and go, oops, after they pulled out? It makes life a lot easier to deal with, just thinking, everyone's a bit dumb sometimes. Even the smartest people in the world, they have their foolish moments.
Absolutely.
And it's so easy to just go, it's just a brain fart, don't worry about it, and forgive the other person, than it is to hold on to that idea of the malice and that they're doing it just because they think they're more important than you.
Absolutely. The message out there. Thanks so much. Joe, regards to your family, and you keep in touch, okay? Thank you very much for the interview. It was a pleasure. Okay?
Like I said, if you're ever in Birmingham, I'll make sure I get us to a good restaurant.
For sure. I will. I'll remember that. Take care, okay?
It better be a better first date than the one I told you about, though. Otherwise, you've got the whole bill.
And I would like to go for a motor ride as well, a bike ride. Oh my God, that I would like to go.
I'm sure if you decide that's something you want to pursue in life, we can make sure you get sorted for that.
Take care, okay? Have a good night. Thanks for the interview again. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Good night.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.